There could be blowback to Anthony Albanese's decision to suspend Senator Fatima Payman indefinitely from the Labor caucus, with a key vote looming in Parliament today. Joining me now is our political reporter, Tom Connell. And Tom, all eyes on Senator Payman to see if she is going to stick with the party that's just suspended her.
Exactly. The first very small test, if you like. She sat with Labor for the Governor-General swearing in. That's no big surprise, but there's more significance to come. There will be a vote on the sheep, the attempt for Labor to ban the live sheep export, for example, either today or tomorrow. Now, the vote itself is now set to pass because Labor, as of today, it's believed, has the support of Tammy Tyrrell, who of course sits independently now. So Labor has its votes, the Greens votes, Tammy Tyrrell and David Pocock at least, and likely at least one more, and that means they have the numbers. But what would Senator Payman do in that sort of vote? Now, there's a bit to play out here. She is understood generally not to be too happy with her treatment that happened on Sunday. Will there be consequences for the way this was handled in particular? Some of the comments that have been made since, very strong ones, for someone who believes there should be more diversity in the party, that she's part of the diversity. She's a young woman and yet essentially being given these marching orders. I know it's not permanent, but this indefinite suspension. The sort of mechanics of this, now because she is no longer allowed to participate in processes and meetings, she's off the distribution list for the Chief Whip's office. Now they, of course, communicate, hey, there's an important vote coming up. My understanding is they'll still be in contact, not through that official list, if you like, because they realise they want to keep her vote. But what will happen on this sheep vote? I know the Nationals are working hard to get her vote. They don't believe they'll win it overall, but you never know. People can change their mind last minute in the Senate, so they're working hard. I'm not sure they'll be successful in getting it, but it would be interesting as well if there was the possibility of her abstaining, perhaps. So not voting with the motion, that of course cancels out Labor's attempt to ban sheep exports in future years, but perhaps abstaining. Now, given how close this vote is, that would still be a very interesting move.
OK, well, we'll see whether she decides to vote with, against or to abstain.
Yeah, and so the interesting part about that is we've heard so much about the Labor rules and the fact that this has come because she crossed the floor. She'd said she crossed the floor again on a Palestine motion. Once she said that, it really set the hairs running in these consequences. Abstaining's interesting. It's a bit more of a grey area. Lots of Labor MPs abstain quietly. Some ask for permission from the Whip, for example, and they say, yes, you can. We've got lots of support. Both major parties support it. It's not an issue. But the closer the vote is, the more it's seen as something that's veering towards crossing the floor. So it wouldn't be the same action, but it would still indicate her unhappiness with the party and with how she's been treated and whether or not, you know, she would be sticking around with Labor. So it'll be fascinating. That vote is due either today or tomorrow, depending on what happens in the Senate. But there is rife speculation about what she might do, and certainly that she's not happy with how this has played out and whether there'll be blowback for Anthony Albanese.
She's not happy. Well, I'll tell you, a lot of her colleagues aren't happy with her at the moment. Tom, thank you.